These episodes got pretty uncomfortable for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but a lot of stuff hit home. What's up, everybody? My name's Lou, and if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for returning again. With all that being said, I just want to give you a couple quick disclaimers. Real quick, there are going to be spoilers in this review completely. I'm spoiling episodes 5 and 6. Yeah, just nothing more I have to say about that. If you haven't seen the episodes yet, click off, go watch those. They're really good episodes. I mean, you know, spoilers to the end of this video. They're really good episodes. If you haven't seen my last video, please do me a favor and go watch that. So we can basically hit the ground running. I don't want you to just be dropped off in this situation and not know what the hell I'm talking about. With all that out of the way, let's just jump right in. The episode picks up basically where it left off from the previous episode, episode 4, with Baki in solitary confinement, thumbs cuffed together, and he's basically getting a rundown of who Che is and what his goals are and why he's just the way he is. So Baki's talking to this old man, and that's when, getting the rundown, he basically tells the old man what he thinks Che's fighting style is. After breaking that down for like maybe a minute, not even really getting to a heavy explanation about it, you get right into a scene with the prison guard, some random prison guard, some no-name, shows up to basically threaten them. Remember from the previous episodes, I already told you this is a pretty strict prison. He steps to Baki and, well, we all know how that's going to end. It's not going to end well at all. Even with handcuffs on, he doesn't represent any kind of a challenge. Anyway, we jump cut to basically all the yard work they're going to be doing. And their yard working is they're laying a foundation or laying these steel pipings or steel bars in the ground so they can set up for a road to be built. And of course, Baki, he can do it super quick, and 2 hits and it's already in the ground. And they said he's breaking records and so on and so forth, saying like even Iron Michael needs at least 3 swings to make it, like, get it down as far as he does. In any case, we found out later on that Iron Michael's actually going to be released from the prison, and he's planning on going back and fighting and, you know, getting back in the heavyweight circuit. He asked, well, I thought you weren't interested in fighting anymore. He's like, no, I'm still interested in fighting. It's just that there's no point in fighting these guys. They're monsters. I know my place. So he's basically just telling Baki, hey man, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm coming from. I know what's going down. So let's just go ahead and call it as is. Well, as we get that scene, we also get a scene that correlates to that with the warden talking to the deputy warden about a check he received from a promoter or I forgot the guy's name, but he's some type of promoter, and he's trying to pay them off, like, you know, handle Iron Michael. The reason they're trying to handle him is because, and I love this about the series, they actually go into the history of like the last time a prisoner, like, you know, an ex-convict held the title, and they use Sonny Liston, which is really cool. I like how they brought Sonny Liston up. I'm glad Sonny Liston's actually getting some shine. In any case, they brought up him in his past and how, you know, the people didn't stand by him, and I really like that because it was true. Because of his past, the people just kind of shunned him and didn't treat him with the respect he deserved as a champion. Deputy Warden asked him, well, who are you gonna get to really challenge Iron Michael? Who in this prison can really take him out? Everybody you had, like Biscuit Oliva won't do it, and neither will Che. So who are you gonna ask? And then we're introduced to this character, called the Mouth. They're triplets, okay? They're triplet brothers. And the one's named Tongue, one named Lip, and one named Teeth. So all together they make up the Mouth. They go into this huge explanation as to why they're called the Mouth and how it's actually, you can kind of grasp it by the way they speak and their patterns of speech. It's a weird speech pattern. It's gonna throw you off at first, but it's really cool. They're tasked with going to fight Iron Michael. We meet him outside in the prison yard, and, you know, he's sitting there talking to him, basically like, okay, so you really think you're going to fight me? And they do something really weird. They actually power scale him or give him a power level. They say he's about 3.2, meaning he's about 3.2 times stronger than normal men. Correlate that to his fighting prowess and body. And they state that that's what he is at this moment. They usually fight guys who are about 2.5. They have training in boxing, they have training in judo, they have training in karate, but they're amateurs. They never got any belts or attained any titles or becoming professionals. Essentially, there's a hit squad. But the way they fight is they surround you and they attack you at once. So even if you dodge one punch, 2 more are still coming for you. What goes down is Iron Michael just gets assaulted. And these 3 brothers are just beating the brakes off him, just left and right, just tagging him left and right. Bah, 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 bah. Eventually, he decides to, you know, stop that. And the only way he knows how to stop that is to jump into a corner, which is a really smart move. He puts his back against a corner so that way they can't come from behind and jump him, so they actually have to face him one at a time. 3 men on 1. And despite what movies tell you, that's not really a possibility you want in life, because it's a very, very, very rare situation where you can defeat 3 men or 3 people at once. The episode ends there. And then we pick up with Iron Michael just getting stomped, like straight up stomped. It was pretty hard to watch. They were beating his face in and everything. Like, it was gruesome. So then after they beat him down to like a bloody pulp, basically, he's just on the ground, out of it. They decide they're gonna cut his tendons, I believe, in his arm, so he can never like form a fist again. They're going real heavy with this already. That's when Che shows up out of nowhere. Like, I feel like he's like one of those wrestlers. Like, if you ever watch WWE, he's just like one of those wrestlers who came out of nowhere. Like, if you remember old school Kane and Undertaker just coming up out of the ring or something. But he goes there and he basically starts talking real shit to those guys. Like, just talking mad shit. And they're afraid of him at first. But they're like, wait a minute. It's 3-on-1. It's going to be the same outcome. One of them tries to jump him, but Che whips his dick out and starts pissing on him. Yeah, just randomly pulls his dick out and starts peeing on a dude. Like, straight up. Like, it was pretty weird, but I mean, like, I couldn't even be mad. It was pretty funny. So he whips his dick out and just starts peeing on a dude. And everybody else, like, just jumping back, like, oh, what the hell? And Che's marking his territory. He circles it off. And then this man lays on the ground and tells him to come at him. So they stomp him out. But he just gets back up like it's nothing. Like, he just like what I told you before. He no-sells it. He completely no-sells their assault. Gets up. Puts his war paint on, which is just mud, and it makes some like weird, like some pretty cool pattern. And he says, oh, I can feel the wind. And, he gets really into the fight. And then they decide, okay, we're going to try different tactics. So now they're surrounding him again. And one brother's on top of the little corner that Iron Michael had took up before. And Che's still just talking mad shit. Just like, hey, how do you expect to beat me from up there? How do you expect to get down? So they try to jump him again. Well, that doesn't work out so well. So what happened was, he didn't even he dodged the first brother, and then the other brother the second brother who was coming out, I believe he's the Lips. I think it was Lips. He came from it. He just uppercutted the absolute shit out of him. Then after seeing his brother get just wasted, he decides, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. He pisses himself. I think this is Tongue. Yeah, Tongue pisses himself and just books it. Last brother's like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. And he just falls down and just folds. Then Che just like, oh, well, I guess it's over. After everybody's back in the cell, Iron Michael, Che, and Baki, and all those guys are back in their prison cell, Oliva shows up. And Oliva and Che start basically cutting promos on each other. Like old school wrestling, like just talking mad shit. Oliva tells Che about what he really is fighting for. And he's basically fighting for a woman that he's in love with. We don't know who she is. We don't know anything about her. Only that Oliva is all about this woman. He wants to be with her so bad. Oliva is just in love with this woman. And he says she's the reason he still fights, the reason he trains. And Baki, this whole time, is just sitting there listening to these guys. And he's getting frustrated. Because I don't have to remind you, Baki's just there to fight the strongest. And he just wants to get this done and get it over with so he can fight his dad. That's the whole point he's in this prison. And they just keep going back and forth. And Baki decides to step in the middle of them and tell them, like, put up or shut up in a sense. And they basically put up on his face. Not like that. They both just slam him, just palm him in the face and throw him out of the cell. After that, Baki's done. He's flatlined. He's catching Z's somewhere. And they go back to their conversation, which is just still kind of like them just cutting promos on each other. And Ollie pulls out this handkerchief. And he's like smelling it. And he's like getting off on it. It's like, ooh, man, like calm down, dude. Like it's like easy. And Che asks him, like, is it from your woman? He's like, oh, no, it's just from the place that she came from. This man is so hard up for this girl that he is turned on by just a piece of her home, like her home country, like whatever it is, a handkerchief. Like he is getting into it. So he asked Che, hey man, you want to smell it? Like, which is super weird again. Like, yeah, he asked him if he wants to smell it. And Che, just being the disrespectful son of a bitch he is, hawks a loogie and just spits on it. Then Oliver freaks out and he doesn't fight him. He just runs. He runs and like freaks out and he's like holding his handkerchief like it's a precious item in his hand and just leaves. He's like screaming his head off. And pretty much the episode ends with Baki laid out, drooling all over himself, and Che standing tall. Like it's basically just a Che episode. All in all, these episodes are really good. I really am digging the series. It's just getting better and better and better with each episode. And I really like the fact that they had actual fights that weren't just setups. I mean, the Mouth versus Iron Michael was kind of a setup, but I feel like it had more weight to it due to the circumstances of the fight and the reason behind Iron Michael even being in that situation. And I do like the stuff with Che. I love to see more of his fighting ability. Like we're still just getting snippets, But just to see how well trained and how well, how can it's not well trained is obviously the only one I can say. Just to see how well trained and how brutal he is as a fighter. I can't wait for his fight with Oliver. I know it's going to be a straight up banger, and it's going to be amazing. But that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for stopping in. I know I keep changing back and forth, going from my desk to my bedroom. So you basically get a little bit of my house. It is what it is. But yeah, that's all I really have to talk about today. If you can, please like the video and subscribe if you like what I had to say or you just like the way this video is set up. I do appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.